It is not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we expect our dinner, but from their regard to their own interest. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's assertion encapsulates the essence of his economic philosophy. Individuals acting in their own self-interest inadvertently contribute to the common good, a principle he termed the invisible hand. In pursuing personal gain, the butcher, brewer, and baker must produce quality goods at fair prices, lest competitors overtake them. This self-regulating mechanism of the free market encourages efficiency and innovation, fostering an environment where the collective needs are met through the pursuit of individual goals. The insight here is not of altruism fueling commerce, but of mutual benefit being an inherent outcome of self-interest. This enlightens us to the foundational mechanism of capitalism, where personal incentives are aligned with public welfare, suggesting that when individuals are free to pursue their own objectives, they can inadvertently contribute to the advancement and prosperity of society as a whole. On the road from the city of skepticism, I had to pass through the valley of ambiguity. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's metaphor of traveling from the city of skepticism through the valley of ambiguity speaks to the intellectual journey from doubt towards understanding, acknowledging that clarity often lies beyond a terrain of uncertainty. Skepticism represents critical thought, questioning established ideas, while the valley of ambiguity symbolizes the often murky and uncertain process of challenging and revising beliefs. Smith suggests that to reach a place of greater knowledge or the city of enlightenment, one must navigate through complexity and ambiguity, confronting and resolving doubts. This journey is emblematic of the human pursuit of knowledge. It is not linear, but fraught with uncertainty, yet it is this very passage through ambiguity that leads to deeper insights and more robust conclusions. The lesson is that embracing uncertainty is a necessary step in the pursuit of truth and wisdom.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more valuable quotes from the legends.
Science is the great antidote to the poison of enthusiasm and superstition. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's statement positions science as a powerful counterbalance to the excesses of unbridled enthusiasm and superstition. Science, with its rigorous methodologies, reliance on empirical evidence, and structured skepticism, offers a disciplined way of understanding the world that mitigates the risk of being swayed by unchecked passion or blind faith. Enthusiasm can lead to hasty conclusions and superstition to baseless beliefs, both of which are challenges to rational thought and progress. By valuing scientific inquiry, we arm ourselves with a toolset that prioritizes observation, experimentation, and reasoned analysis, thereby fostering a more accurate and objective comprehension of reality. Smith's insight underscores the importance of scientific literacy in safeguarding society against the distortions of fervent ideologies and unfounded convictions, promoting a foundation of knowledge that is both stable and progressive. Humanity is the virtue of a woman, generosity that of a man. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's statement reflects the gender norms of his time, attributing different moral virtues to men and women, humanity to women, and generosity to men. It encapsulates the 18th century perspective wherein virtues were often gendered, with women being associated with nurturing and compassionate qualities, and men with noble and public-spirited traits. However, modern analysis rejects such rigid gender roles, understanding that virtues are not inherently gendered but are human qualities accessible and desirable in all individuals, regardless of gender. Smith's assertion can prompt contemporary examination of how societal expectations shape our understanding of gender and virtue. It highlights the historical context of moral philosophy and invites a critical assessment of how far we have evolved in our conception of gender equality. This reflection serves as a reminder that virtues are universal aspirations, and the attribution of certain qualities to specific genders is a social construct that modern ethics aims to transcend, promoting an inclusive view of virtue that is applicable to all humanity. As soon as the land of any country has all become private property, the landlords, like all other men, love to reap where they never sowed and demand a rent even for its natural produce. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's observation on land ownership critiques the economic consequences of land privatization. His analogy, love to reap where they never sowed, highlights a fundamental issue in property rights. Landlords benefit from the value of land, often derived from its natural resources and societal development, without necessarily contributing to its productivity. Smith points out the inherent tendency of landowners to capitalize on the intrinsic value of the land, charging rent simply because they possess the title to it, not because of any labor or improvement they've made. This critique is grounded in the classical economic theory of rent, where landowners profit from scarcity and demand for a fixed, natural resource. Smith's insight is prescient in today's debates on wealth inequality, speculative land ownership, and the role of economic rent in modern society. It challenges the justifications for passive income from land and invites discourse on equitable land use and the distribution of wealth generated from natural resources, which, according to Smith's moral philosophy, should benefit the broader society rather than individual landowners alone. No complaint is more common than that of a scarcity of money. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's comment on the commonality of complaints about money scarcity reflects his understanding of economic sentiment and the misconceptions surrounding money supply. He suggests that the perception of not having enough money is often mistaken for a lack of actual currency, whereas the issue typically lies in the distribution of money and the dynamics of economic activity. In a deeper sense, Smith is hinting at the difference between money as a token of exchange and the real wealth of a nation, which is goods and services. A scarcity of money can often be a symptom of deeper economic issues such as low productivity, poor trade conditions, or mismanagement of resources. It can also reflect a lack of liquidity or the velocity of money, rather than its absolute quantity. Smith's observation prompts a more nuanced understanding of economic health, steering away from the simplistic view that increasing the money supply is a panacea for financial woes. In modern terms, it aligns with monetary theories that recognize the complex relationship between money supply, inflation, economic growth, and purchasing power. It underscores the importance of looking beyond the surface of monetary scarcity to address the underlying economic structures and policies that determine the distribution and efficacy of financial resources in society. Labor was the first price, the original purchased money that was paid for all things. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's statement about labor being the first price or original purchase money expresses a fundamental concept in his economic theory. Labor constitutes the true measure of value. In Smith's view, before the advent of money, goods and services were exchanged directly, and the amount of labor invested in creating a product determined its exchange value. This perspective has profound implications for understanding economic systems. It places labor at the core of economic transactions, asserting that human effort is the real currency that fuels trade and wealth creation. It also suggests that the wealth of nations is built on the productive capabilities of their populations, rather than the accumulation of gold or silver. Smith's insight into labor as the basis of value underpins the labor theory of value, which would later be developed further by economists such as David Ricardo and Karl Marx. This theory has influenced the way we assess the fairness of wages, the importance of labor rights, and the distribution of wealth within society. It calls attention to the dignity of work and the intrinsic link between human effort and economic prosperity. This is one of those cases in which the imagination is baffled by the facts. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's assertion that the imagination is baffled by the facts underscores the tension between human expectations and the often surprising nature of reality. This resonates profoundly in the context of economics, where theoretical models and forecasts regularly confront complex, counterintuitive outcomes. Smith's reflection invites a recognition of the limits of theoretical speculation without empirical grounding. It acknowledges that the world's complexities often defy neat, logical categorization, and that data can reveal patterns and truths that challenge preconceived notions or theoretical predictions. This statement is a call for humility in analysis and planning, a reminder that empirical evidence should guide our understanding. It is a testament to the unpredictability of economic and social phenomena, and a nod to the necessity of remaining open to revising our theories in light of new information. It suggests that the most rigorous imagination must be disciplined by observation, and that wisdom lies in respecting the primacy of observed fact over untested conjecture. With the greater part of rich people, the chief enjoyment of riches consists in the parade of riches. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's observation on the behavior of the wealthy highlights a psychological and social facet of wealth. Its value often lies not merely in utilitarian ends, but in its display and the status it confers. This parade of riches refers to the conspicuous consumption that serves as a public signal of one's economic position. Smith implies that beyond satisfying basic needs, the utility of wealth for many is intrinsically linked to social recognition and the outward manifestation of success. This statement touches upon the social dynamics of wealth and the human desire for distinction. It suggests that the pursuit of wealth is not only about comfort and security, but also about the affirmation of one's place in the social hierarchy. Smith's insight predates and informs Veblen's theory of conspicuous consumption, which examines how status seeking drives economic behavior. From this, we can glean that economic decisions are often influenced by social psychology, and that the implications of wealth extend beyond individual enrichment to include broader societal impacts. It serves as a caution that policy and moral philosophy must consider not just the distribution of wealth, but also its social and psychological effects. Adventure upon all the tickets in the lottery, and you lose for certain, and the greater the number of your tickets, the nearer your approach to this certainty. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's statement about lottery tickets is a commentary on probability and risk. He articulates a fundamental principle of expected value. As one increases the number of lottery tickets, the probability of a total loss approaches certainty. This is because the cost of the tickets can exceed the total value of the prizes available. Smith's observation extends beyond lotteries to broader economic and investment decisions. It serves as a caution against putting all one's resources into ventures with a high probability of failure or low expected returns. The principle suggests that diversification reduces risk, a concept central to modern portfolio theory. The underlying lesson is that while individual lottery tickets offer a small chance of a large gain, collectively, they represent a near certain loss as their cost outweighs the sum of expected outcomes. Smith's insight encourages a critical approach to evaluating investment opportunities, weighing the total potential for loss against the allure of high, but unlikely, rewards. It is a reminder of the importance of rational decision-making in the face of enticing but statistically unfavorable odds. It is not by augmenting the capital of the country, but by rendering a greater part of that capital active and productive than would otherwise be so, that the most judicious operations of banking can increase the industry of the country. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's statement on banking highlights the importance of the efficient allocation of capital to enhance a country's productivity. He asserts that the mere accumulation of capital is not sufficient for economic growth. Rather, it is the activation of this capital, putting it to work in productive ventures, that truly drives industry forward. Smith points out that judicious banking operations are those that successfully channel dormant or underutilized funds into productive uses, such as business investments, rather than merely increasing the stockpile of wealth. This can be achieved through lending for business expansion, innovation, and other economic activities that lead to job creation and wealth generation. This insight resonates with modern economic principles that emphasize the role of financial institutions in facilitating investment and consumption. Smith's perspective informs current debates on monetary policy, credit availability, and financial regulation, highlighting that the goal of such policies should be to catalyze economic activity, not just to accumulate capital reserves. It underscores the role of banks as intermediaries that can mobilize savings for productive use, thereby contributing to the overall health and dynamism of the economy. Happiness never lays its finger on its pulse. Adam Smith's defense is superior to opulence. Adam Smith. Adam Smith's aphorism, "Happiness never lays its finger on its pulse," poetically suggests that happiness is not a state of self-conscious reflection or analysis. Instead, it is a natural, perhaps even involuntary, state that is diminished or disrupted by overexamination. When one becomes overly focused on scrutinizing their own happiness, they may paradoxically distance themselves from the experience of it. The phrase implies that happiness is best understood indirectly, through engagement with life's activities rather than through direct pursuit or introspection. The second quote, "Defense is superior to opulence," reflects Smith's views on the priorities of a nation. From a strategic and political economy standpoint, Smith argues that the security and defense of a nation are more critical than its wealth. This is because opulence, or great wealth, cannot be enjoyed or sustained without the security provided by an adequate defense. In other words, a nation's first duty is to protect its citizens and maintain its sovereignty, after which it can focus on the accumulation and enjoyment of wealth. This view is particularly relevant in discussions of national budget allocations, where debates often center on the balance between military spending and economic development.